It's time to dive into the masculine and feminine today with Madeline Moon. I actually found her originally on Instagram, fell in love with her content, which if y'all don't already follow her, go and do it. She's got some awesome, unique, educational, and highly entertaining content. She likes to say that she is what you would get if a tantrika made love to a comedian. She's a devoted teacher and ecstatic for love and the host of a top 50 ranked US podcast, Mind Body Musings. Madeline's desire is to spread sacred union, showing people how to unite one's innate feminine alongside one's innate masculine. Her work and story has been featured in hundreds of podcasts as well as various publications such as BBC, The Huffington Post, Teen Vogue, Thought Catalog, Nylon Magazine, The Daily Mail, Vice, Men's Health, People, ABC News Nightline, you name it. She is a beautiful, powerful soul, and I'm so excited for you guys to learn from her today. So without further ado, let's dive into the episode. Madeline, I'm so excited to have you on the show today. I know all my listeners are definitely excited because this topic that we are about to dive into together has been one of high requests. So thank you so much, Madeline, for coming in and giving of your beautiful energy and your wisdom on the show today.
It's my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me here today.
Yeah. I would actually love to start because I don't even know the answer to this question. How did you get into this work of feminine and masculine embodiment?
It happened very organically, very naturally. I'll just go through the background just a little bit, not too much in detail, but my upbringing was major Bible Belt purity culture, repressive, and there was an air and energy of women are less than throughout my entire upbringing. And here's what a good woman does. So I was brought up with this set of rules of how to be a proper cotillion going sweet lady who is obedient to her man. And I ended up having OCD and eating disorders and getting into bodybuilding. And I started to create this physical body armor. Even though I was getting smaller and the eating disorders made me smaller, there was I was subconsciously trying to make my body as close to a man as possible, just like little body fat, have the aura of a man, like anything away from softness and ease, because that meant all the things that I was brought up learning and hearing. And that terrified me, not having a voice or being less than or being weak or being property, so to say. Like it was real. Like it was very deep and dark and murky, as it is oftentimes in those kinds of upbringings. You can't really see it when you're in it, especially when you're a kid. So after a series of events, when I got very deep into bodybuilding and creating this physical armor and trying to distance myself from my emotions as best as I could, I had probably a year's worth of bathroom floor breakdowns of emoting, of expressing, and one thing led to the next. And I ended up moving into the mountains, not knowing a single soul. Just like I was 21 and I was like, I need to be alone. I need to go into a cave. I need to find myself because I hate myself. And going into that cave led me to I just had space to be alone. I had space to be bored. I had space to find myself. And I started to soften the edges a bit, become more familiar with my emoting, with my expressiveness. I started to disconnect. And then I adopted a dog and I started to nurture. Like these are a lot of the surface level things, to be honest. They sound like big life transitions, but they're not. It was a lot of the surface level things. And then that took me deeper and deeper into relationship. Like that time of taking a break from relating, I ended up moving deeper into relationship and what true intimacy means. And it literally feels like the divine just started placing one person after another person that was a stepping stone on this journey of like this Tantra man entered my life, and then this Taurus man entered my life, and then this program, and then this teacher, and then this random person that just created a moment of like 30 minutes of deep eye contact with me. And it was addicting was addicting. It was true. It was real. It was honest. Everything that's the opposite of what I was growing up with. There's no honesty. There's no honesty. It was all passive aggressive. There was no art. There was no creativity and love. And so the past 10 years of my life have been all about deepening human connection and intimacy, which is all about the feminine and the masculine. It's all about this work, is how do we feel the part of us that's constantly changing and emoting and expressing, even on the inside, like the part of us that's tornado or tsunami, that is alongside the part of us that's never changed, our consciousness, part of us that we feel when we meditate. How do we let these two pieces meet to create something new? That's the shortest answer I can give to that.
Beautiful. Wow. I had no idea. I actually have quite a few women in my community who have religious trauma, and backgrounds of that very constrictive type of feeling. And I mean, I can relate to it a little bit as well, because I also was very involved in the church at one point in my life. And I remember the shame that I created around a lot of that whole experience for me. And so, and shame in parts of my feminine and, and all that stuff. So, okay. So I'd love to hear from you, really what masculine and feminine embodiment means to you, and like what it actually, and I know there's so much to it, but what it means to embody your feminine and your masculine.
Yeah. So the masculine is consciousness. The feminine is energy, literally. Like that's what it is. A lot of times on social media or in talks, when we talk about feminine and masculine, people focus too much on the manifestations of it, the actions of it. Our world is full of masculine energy. We're all hustling. That's not necessarily the masculine. When you have a strong masculine, you have the ability to focus. But focusing in itself isn't just inherently masculine. It's just a thing we do. Masculine, at its very core, its very essence, is just consciousness. It's emptiness. It's space. It's a container. Stillness. Whereas on the polar opposite, we've got yin and yang, we've got sun and moon, we've got Shiva and Shakti. So on the total opposite, we have energy, we have motion. Like I'm moving right now. I'm using my hands as I speak. I am in energy, whereas you are in stillness. You are holding the masculine pole. You've got this masculine container of 30 minutes to 40 minutes for us to speak. You've got the scheduler, you've got the masculine. I come in, I flow, I talk, I move around. Like it lives on all these different planes. And your question around embodiment, this is a really important piece, because embodiment is how do we use our body to bring these two distinct poles to life? How do we animate them? How do we see them with our eyes? Because we can hear about these concepts all day long. We can hear, okay, consciousness, that's great. Sounds kind of esoteric, but sounds pretty cool. And then we've got the feminine, which is energy, which kind of makes sense. But if we want to see it living and breathing, we need to animate these energies with our physical body. And so in the bare minimum of how these two energies will look, if we take a person who wants to, also I should mention, we all have these energies within. We all have feminine and masculine. The deeper your masculine is, ladies, the deeper your feminine is going to be. The deeper your feminine is going to be, the deeper of a masculine you're going to need. So you cannot focus on one without the other. You could go into like total bliss state where you just never get anything done. And that's okay for some times in our life. But oftentimes we want to meet it. We want to husband our own feminine so that we can learn to meet the parts of ourselves and then go fucking deep.
Yeah.
Or if we just want to spend time in our feminine all day, we can't go that deep. There's no container to hold it. So you'll live a so feminine life. You want to live a deep feminine life of deep embodiment, deep animation, expression, creativity. You got to create this rock solid, but malleable at times, masculine container to hold it.
Wow.
So
I love that.
To finish what you were asking about embodiment, if we were to take someone who wanted to be, of course, has both energies, but wants to step more into the masculine in any given time. Like I want to use my body to be in the masculine. How do I do that? That soul would use their physical body to bring depth. If that's what the masculine is, consciousness depth, then how do you stand in a way that's deep? How do you breathe in a way that's deep? How do you shift your body so subtly that all of a sudden everyone around you feels that their attention is now like magnetized to you because you're the deepest person in the room? There's ways that we can use our body to actually be in that state. It's not shallow breaths. It's not moving around. It's deep, rich breath. It's deep, grounded body. It's like you're breathing from your yoni, or you're breathing from your cock. Your legs have, like, they're rooted firmly into the earth. Your head is tilted a certain way that's showing I'm here, I'm present. Whereas the feminine, if you wanted to embrace the feminine pull with your body, embodiment, you wouldn't want to worry about those things. You would be moving, you'd be in flow, you'd actually be following the pleasure of your body. So if your spine wants to ripple a little bit, you'd listen to that and you'd move. But then all of a sudden, if you want to kind of like wag your tail like a cat, you do that. If you want to bat your eyelashes like you're young, or you want to hold your head up high like you're a crone, there's all these ways you can use your body. You can reveal through your eyes the part of you that is the lost feminine, the hungry feminine, the seductive feminine, the like silly feminine. So we use our freaking body to bring these esoteric concepts to life. And then when we do that with other, this is how we get polarity. This is how we get sexual energy going.
Yeah. Oh, so good. I love you. So, okay. I love how you just explained all that so beautifully. I'm sure all the ladies listening are loving it as well. And also, I just want to add this in. So the way I found Madeline, you guys, is I saw her stuff, which I'm going to link it in the show notes for y'all. You got to check out her Instagram. It's the shit. She's got like, I love it. You're just this, you're like a comedian when it comes to this like teaching these very like deep concepts. It's so cool to see. And yeah, all of her stuff, she does all these videos, and they're super educational. And she's like, some of these stuff that you were sharing just now, I remember seeing in one of your videos. So she'll like act things out and like show you in a very fun, comical, educational, and entertaining way. So I just want to throw that in there. Yeah. For the listeners. And of course for you, because love it, sister.
Thank you. Good.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I would love to like dive into what you just said, which is when you bring somebody else in, that's what creates polarity. So what are some tips that you can, or like, and this is specifically for women, because my audience is mostly women, for a woman to create that polarity in relationship with a man? Oh, I love this. This is juicy.
It's a great question. It's a great question. And it's the same question that so many women are wondering right now, rightly so, and my perspective is that we are responsible, right? We are responsible moving forward to create the dynamic that we want. Like, we have the tools, we have the knowledge, we have the capability. Now it's all about stripping the ego down, because going back into the feminine is going to require you to do a lot of things that all the boss babe memes are telling you like otherwise to do. Not even like they're telling you, it's this subtle programming of be in control all the time, lead, female is future,
be independent,
independent. If he's not meeting your every need, then fuck him, ghost him, do whatever you need to do to just peace off. And my belief is that these things can live side by side. We can be powerful women, we can be CEOs, we can be bosses, and be the sacred sluts, be the devotional wife, and be sacredly helpless and not know what to do. Because within each and every woman, there's a part of us, men too, but we're talking about women, that doesn't know and feels lost. And it's tender and it's sweet, and it's very hard to touch this part of a lot of us because it's been abused, it's been neglected, it's been taught that it's not safe, it's been betrayed. And so when I say that it's time to strip away part of the ego, like, this work is so deep and there's so many different layers. There's like the layer of how we can do that when we're at the grocery store. when we literally are very safe. There's nothing that's going to happen. How do we reveal a little bit of our helplessness part? Or how do we let ourselves be led by the grocery man, but where the cucumbers are? Like there's those little tiny practices we can do. But then in partnership, it's where it's often the hardest, because that's the person that we always want to show that we are I'm the smart one. I'm the one who can do the thing faster. I can do it better. And it's chronic disapproval. And we could talk about that another time. There's a whole thing going on with chronic disapproval with women towards men. Again, rightly so. Women are amazing. Like we're able to do 50 things at once, but it's not the things that have helped us succeed so much in business and life are the things that are killing us quickly in relationship. We're doing things where we are leading the way, and then we are resenting our partner for letting us get away with it.
Totally. See that? Yep. 100%.
And I'm not going to say that every single person is like this. Some women really do want to hold the masculine pole, and they want a feminine partner, and it feels juicy and sexual as long as there's polarity.
Yeah.
As long as there's polarity. I don't want that. I personally want to be in my feminine, be in my motion, my pleasure, my energy, and him be more in the depth and the consciousness, but it's not all the time. So there's a really wonderful concept that this teacher, London Angel Winters, came up with her partner. And I think this is a great breakdown of how we can think about this. There's 3 different dynamics that we are in at any point in time in one relationship: alpha, alpha, omega, omega, alpha, omega. So sometimes there's polarity, an alpha and omega. And sometimes you're both in the power couple depth consciousness role. And then sometimes you're both in the kicking it on the couch, eating popcorn, watching TV and high-fiving because you're just so awesome role. And those 2 roles of omega, omega, that's important. So you can both just not have a lead. You can just relax and be best friends for a hot second. Alpha, alpha is great because sometimes neither one of you want to surrender your heart. And you both need to be building your empire, like even if it's for like 2 hours in a Tuesday. But then when it's time to feel your eroticism, feel juicy, feel sensual, feel sexy, you have to have polarity. You have to have distance, energetic distance. So since we're talking to women here, my thing is always, men's teachers will be different. They'll say, men, here's what you got to do. Women, here's what we need to do. If we want polarity, if you want it.
Yeah.
Relinquish the need to tell your partner what to do. Don't mommy him. Like really, that's a big thing with mommying. It's like thinking you can do it. Don't husband him, thinking you can do it better and take care of him. Let him flail, let him flop. Let him do the reservations poorly. Let him XYZ, let him hang the picture poorly. Your role is to see, how can I evoke the thing it is that I want in such a way that gifts him? How can I evoke in such a way that gifts him with my energy creatively? Not to get anything. You have to also let go of that you're going to get the thing that you want. This teaching that I teach is all about offering. It's like you're offering your gift. So as a feminine being, if your gift is the feminine, bringing energy, bringing pleasure, you have access to something that the masculine beings don't. Yeah, they can feel pleasure. They can feel like energy pulsing through their spine, but not nearly as much because they're much more dense.
Yeah.
So for a feminine being, like you have beauty, you have softness, you have this glow. It's like, it's demonstrated in the female orgasm. Like, whoa, this is sight. It's like a ripple. It's big. It like clears the whole room, purifies the whole room. It's like Palo Santo in a body. It just, whoosh, it's glorious. And so if we want something, I have this example. I'll give an example. I know I'm talking a lot, but
I love it all.
That's okay, good. This just to help anchor it in here. I was speaking with a client the other day, and she came to me with a very normal issue of like, me and my partner want to, we have a dog and we want to train the dog differently. A very like normal kind of fight. Like he wants to let it be loosey goosey. She wants structure and rigidity. And her normal approach, like most people's normal approach, is to be like, this is the way I want it. Why are you stopping me? that's not evoking his highest depth of leadership and masculine. It's not evoking him to want to do better. It's actually making him feel like a little boy who's not doing good enough.
Yeah, making him not feel capable.
Not feel capable, not feel inspired to lead better. He feels like his, it's like, this is the energy of it. It's like caving in. So if we then used our power for good and we were like, okay, I want to practice being in the feminine. I want to practice supporting him in his masculine. I want to create sexual polarity. And I want to kind of try to evoke the thing that it is I want, which is to get the dog to be trained a little bit differently. What I told her is, how about you bring a little bit of sex energy into this? Okay, it's about a dog. You want to train the dog correctly. Create some art. Get a collar, get like a BDSM collar of your choosing, put it on, and then start running into the living room when he's like doing anything, reading the newspaper, if people even do that anymore, and start biting on his pant leg in this adorable collar and wear like a leotard or something. Start biting on his pant leg, dragging him to the bedroom. And then you can say something like, see, this is what happens when you don't train a dog. Really sexy, like, this is what happens when you don't train a dog. And then just like obliterate him, jump on him, pounce on him, make it big. Can't do these kind of things small. That's what I love about this work. You can't half-ass it.
Yeah.
So you're demonstrating the truth of your heart. I desire to have a dog that's being trained, and you're doing it in a way that's playful and inspiring to him, because he's going to love that. I mean, he's going to be like, oh my God, my woman's like wearing a collar and taking my pants off, all about this dog. How cute. That's just one example.
Yeah. Well, and I love this idea of, really being expressive and using our feminine expression. Like I saw you did like a video about, it was like, you wanted the man to take out the trash.
Oh.
Yeah. And then instead of being like, which, come on, ladies, how often does this come around? Right? Like, babe, you need to take out the trash. Right. And like commanding them, right? Versus being like, ooh, like you were like, ooh, it's stinky. Like, oh, the trash is stinky, and being in that kind of like that playful feminine, like expressing, right, that it's stinky. And him being able to step into that, the polarity and be solution driven, like, oh, let me solve that for you, babe. Like, come over here. Like, let me take that out, which that is a pure, like such a great example that I'm sure like everyone can relate to. I know I've been there with Gerard, my man, of like wanting him to do something, right? Like wanting him to do something and like just practicing an effective way to evoke it. Like I like to use the word evoke, like to evoke it out of him without telling him, demanding, commanding him to do something. So good.
Yeah. One thing that's important to realize, there's a couple of things here, but the first thing is, anytime you say you need to, you're in the masculine. Anytime you say you need to, you're directing, you're the depth, you're the consciousness, you're guiding. That is,
you have an agenda. Yeah.
The connection has been neutralized. You are no longer polarized. You are in the same. You're alpha. So he might, bark up and be alpha too. Like, you need to do it, And secondly, there's no wrong thing about you saying you need to take out the trash, or can you take out the trash? I've had people see that video and get all up in arms because they're projecting onto me, saying that I'm now saying women can't ask for their partner to take out the trash. Never said that. This is for those who want to make their relationships artful and get excited by this relating being a craft, being like Nancy Drew's a detective of, how can I take a very fucking boring instance in life and make it creative and even spicy. It's fun to me. I think it's the most fun work in the world. So by the trash being full, you could do the same thing you've done your entire life, get the same exact result, get the trash taken out, or you can create a moment, a special moment that didn't exist before, where you do something very simple, like, oh, stinky, like, oh, and you can make it like dramatic. You can run out of the kitchen, you can faint in the living room, like, of how terrible it smells. And I've received so many comments from people saying that they did it and it worked. And like their partner just was like, oh, I'll take it out. And it's his idea and it feels good for him. And then he's all of a sudden kind of saving and rescuing her for this one moment where she never needs to be saved and rescued. That's the thing about our society now. We don't need to be saved and rescued. So this like energy that a lot of good men really enjoyed, kind of like coming in and being the breadwinner, supporting and providing and protecting a family, that thing that's been alive for tens of thousands of years no longer has a place. And a lot of good men still are carrying that from their ancestry of wanting to protect and provide. So these fun moments where we get to create that in our modern day post-feminist world, where we can totally take out the trash, but we just decide for this time we're gonna create some art out of it. It's a gift. It's a gift to him, and it's a gift to you because you get to play.
Yeah, I love it. And there's something that came through as you were saying that I just want to share with the ladies. It's not about, because I could just see how that could be kind of warped into, oh, then what am I'm supposed to complain when I want something? But that's not what we're saying.
Oh, no, please don't complain.
No. Yeah, please no. That's like as that is like the same as like criticism to a man when you're complaining. That's like Gerard's told me that too. It's something that I'm conscious of, because it's about like, notice, when Madeline was sharing that, it's the playfulness, right? It's tapping into that playful expression, not a space of, why haven't you done this yet? Like complaining. Cause that, again, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, Madeline, but that also feels masculine to me, because there's like attachment there.
Yeah. It's a chronic disapproval I was talking about earlier.
I was going to ask you like what you meant by that, actually.
Yeah, because, well, it's pretty, well, hold on. Let me explain this chronic disapproval right after this part. There's a nice little formula I want to explain, that you locate, if you're in a state in a relationship where there are a lot of complaints coming up, locate the complaint, locate the desire underneath the complaint, locate the art you can create about the desire. One more.
Write that down.
Yeah, one more. Locate the art you can create about the desire in such a way that will gift his masculine body. Meaning, so as a feminine being, like you can create art, you can just create art and that's fun. But how can you create art in a way that's feminine, that's going to nourish him as the masculine? Because what he's looking for, what a masculine body is looking for, is, God, where's my reason to live again? Because life is very burdensome and heavy. Really, it is. Like, the masculine body is all about depth. So therefore, one of the biggest struggles is like, they're always going so deep, or there's responsibility. And this is within all of us. Yeah. My masculine feels immensely burdened all the time. There's so much to do, so much to be, so much to see, so much to create. Yeah. And so my masculine also goes, where is there like beauty? Where is there playfulness? Where is there fun and joy? Inspiration, creativity. Where's the Sagittarius? Like, just give me something that's going to be bright and shiny. Yeah. And that's what people who are primarily masculine are thinking all day long. Yeah. And I'm, this isn't every single, we live in such an interesting time where there are plenty of people, like I say all of this, that with the assumption that the partner that you are with, they're doing their best too. Yeah. It's not someone who is neglecting what your requests are and that you need to start making more art so that they finally hear you. No neglect. Like, this is under the assumption that you're with a partner who does want to see you. Maybe it isn't perfect, but wants to see you, wants to meet you where you're at, wants to hold you, wants to get off the couch and live their purpose too. These are all very important things. Yeah. Yeah. And so that's kind of going back to the chronic disapproval. There's been so much pain. There's such a deep pain body in the feminine, or I'll say more specifically, women. In women's bodies, there's so much pain. And in the past 20, 30, 40 years, we've come such a far way of creating more for us as a gender, as a species, more possibility, more opportunity. And then we are surpassing, with our ability to have both love and consciousness, a lot of the partners we've been with. And then we start to carry the resentments of our high school partners, our 20s partners, in deep into our 30s with new partners. We're still remembering how those partners of the past couldn't hold us, couldn't listen to us, and then we take it out on these new partners. And of course, oftentimes we find the partners who had moms who disapproved of them.
Yep.
We make this perfect match. We're disapproving our partner. Partner was also always disapproved by their mother. And then, wow, what a beautiful opportunity for healing.
Yeah, love that. I feel that Gerard and I are like really great mirrors in this way for each other, and so grateful for it. It's what I call conscious or transformational love. Yeah. And I really want to highlight what you said earlier, ladies. This is like so powerful because, I mean, let's just take this as an example. I was actually coaching one of my clients on this the other day. Oh, babe, you're always working late. Like you're always working late. Like we never spend any time together. And if you listen to what Madeline said is, okay, peel that layer back. What do you actually want? Because that's a complaint. It's like, what do you actually want? Well, I want to spend time with him. I want to connect with him. Like I want to like make love. I want to, whatever that is. Right. And then going a layer deeper, which I like that. Right. So I love that you connected it to desire, because underneath the complaint is always a desire.
Right. Always.
always a desire. And then going even deeper and saying, okay, how can I creatively like express this desire and evoke, and then it was like a layer deeper, evoke his masculinity to show up and I just think that, and create it. So I think that is such a beautiful, I hope you ladies took notes on that and are taking notes on that, because using that in your relationship, I know, because I've done that with Gerard. It is a night and day difference of a response. I gotta say.
Totally different.
Yeah, so good. Okay, I know we're like nearing the end. There's just two final questions that I would love to ask. The first is, what are, like, even if you could list a few, and we can put them in the show notes too, like what are some practices that we as women can create to allow us to tap into our feminine and create that polarity, either in a relationship or not, just having that. I have a lot of women asking this, like connecting more with their feminine, embodying more of their feminine.
Okay. So there's so many different ways on different planes. But what's coming up for me right now for your audience, for whatever reason, is making it a practice to see where the masculine, the divine masculine, is showing up for you already right now. This heals the chronic disapproval of there's no good men, or men always fuck up, or whatever. Look for in your daily life all the ways the masculine is there for you. And this could be the mailman ringing your doorbell and bringing you your package. For that one moment, just honor God in him, honor the divine in him, showing up, bringing you your package. Wow, how cool. You go outside, you see this ginormous cactus, just like into the sky. It's just this beautiful, like phallic being. You just, nature, this piece of nature, this rock solid, not going anywhere, going into the sky, divine masculine cock is here. Honor it. Just like, wow, that's beautiful. I feel held from that cactus. And I know that sounds quite esoteric, most likely to people who are new to this work, but this is a huge practice for me. And it puts me in the feminine, because I'm looking for all the ways that the world is showing up to hold me.
Yeah.
Whether it's like,
good.
There's so many examples. When you start to actually look, you start to see how many things you have to be grateful for, how many offerings there are, from consistency, reliability, depth, consciousness, the four corners of your room. It's like, I'm being held literally. I'm literally inside of a room right now that is holding me, keeping me safe. Thank you, masculine. Thank you for showing up. And then it starts to bleed into your relationship. But we need to start to train our muscle as feminine beings to see how the opposite energy is protecting us, leading us, guiding us, and is good enough, is doing it right. Because we have a part of us that's like always on the go of like, where are you not doing it right? Where are you not? Yeah, I can do it better. And we can honor the part of us that we are so capable, because women are so, it's crazy, like how much we can get done, how much we can do. And that's the way our brains are made and have evolved, and that's great, but we're not going to get to the society we want to get to if we stomp on our counterpart and we don't give them love for just simply being sometimes.
Yeah.
So that's one of them. The second practice I'll give is to start to train your responsiveness. This one's a little harder. This one's a lot harder, actually. But beginning to train responsiveness, which means train revealing how things make you feel through your body, through embodiment. And this could be someone says something that hurts your feelings and you just kind of scrunch your nose and you say, ow, that's it. No story, no long hour-long processing, just a tiny little word that reveals everything that person needs to know in that moment. Or you hear a song that you like, and it's just, like you just, expressive. Or someone's on their phone while you're at dinner and you don't like that and it's distracting. So you hiss or you turn into a little brat for a second. How can you use your body to emote? That's the most feminine thing you can do. Like, we could talk about pleasure practices, which is very valuable, and dancing and, adorning your body with oils and all those luscious, yummy, also feminine practices. But I'm all about using your body to emote and to express as a pathway to the feminine. So beginning to see in your daily life, how often are you a cold stone, hard, like no one can read you. You're unreadable. Like how many times have we been told that you're unreadable? I can't read you right now. I used to think that was a compliment. I've now realized that it's not the way I want to live my life. I want to be transparent. I want to be open. I want my face to say it all, because it brings joy to a moment. It opens the moment. Even if I don't like something, I do it in such a way, I hope, that lights up the room of not liking something.
I love those. Those are so great. Thank you so much, Madeline. I especially, both of those, emoting and then just finding gratitude and appreciation for the ways that the masculine is showing up right now in your life, and feeling safe then to be in your feminine. I think even just that act of noticing is going to be so powerful for you ladies to try out, and just notice what shifts in your body when you take notice and you experience gratitude for the ways that masculine is showing up for you. That's such a beautiful practice. Thank you, Madeline. That's awesome.
You're welcome.
Okay, so my final question is the final question that I ask every guest on the Female on Fire series, which you are now a part of. Yay!
Yeah.
So what is one thing, Madeline, about you that you used to maybe hide, dim, mute, or maybe even shame, that you have since reactivated and reignited on your journey to becoming the female on fire that you are today?
I would say my mess. Coming from a Southern Baptist upbringing in Texas, there was no room for mess ever. And it doesn't just mean like appearance wise, but just the mess of being a human, the mess of not knowing exactly what it is you want, and kind of being in between states, or being in between worlds, being in between homes, being, just like not having all your shit together all the time. My mess has been I go straight into sexuality. So I like, how messy can I be in sexuality to help me be more messy in life? That's my method. It's very backwards for a lot of people, but I always go into, like, I'm a tantrika. So really my work is around how can I just get right into the heart of mess and sex and make it like loud and drooly and open and ridiculous and penetrative and like does not look like, be rashy and flushed, and like get all into the mess, so that when I leave that beautiful practice with my love, then I go into life and my body has now embedded mess in a different way. And I can handle breathing in between a conflict a little bit better, or I can handle not knowing what it is that I want a little bit better, be more gentle with myself. And I think that mess piece has been really it's actually served with my meticulousness in life, my ability to actually be very clear, having that room for the mess
and that polarity.
Yeah, exactly. Everything is everything.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good. It's a new one. I love asking this question because it's always something new that, the women say. And so that's a new one. So thank you for sharing that. That's beautiful. I'm sure a lot of women can relate to that. Actually, I know I can. So
Good. Yeah.
yeah. All right, Madeline. Well, it's been such a joy, such a pleasure having you here speaking about masculine and feminine embodiment and just sharing your wisdom and practices with us. And I also, a little birdie told me that you have a 30-minute feminine and masculine embodiment practice, which is free, which Madeline had sent to me before this. So I'm going to put that in the show notes for you lucky ladies who can go and click on in that and experience that magic. And Madeline, thank you so much. You're so awesome. It's been such a joy, a pleasure to have you on the show today.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me.